KUAW Radio Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom Radio, brought to you by the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. Of course, we got Baba G here on the soundboard, holding up, keeping it down on the ones and twos, always doing a most excellent job representing. And so today, we have an in-studio guest, and we're definitely going to get into that. And our broadcast is called Soul Journeying Paradigmatics. And just real quick, before we get into our interview, Shifting Paradigms, we're all about stimulating critical thought in order to realistically redefine our narrative and positively reshape our reality through dialogue with self-determination. And so with that, our in-studio guest today is none other than Miss She Royale.
Hello.
How you doing this evening?
I'm well. How are you?
All is well, thank you. No
Good.
doubt. So we're going to be talking about soul journeying paradigmatics, and I believe that it would be just, in order to just introduce yourself to our listeners, if individuals may not know you, just whatever you find relevant, share with our listeners so that they can get comfortable knowing who they're listening to this evening.
Okay. My name is She Royal. I must tell y'all that I am an Oklahoma native, but KC is like my home. I've been here for some years now. And so what originally got me introduced to just kind of into the arts here and just being, I guess, familiar with Kansas City is arts. I've been writing for a long time, and when I moved here, I jumped off the porch, you know what I'm saying, and started speaking aloud my poetry. And so from there, I just kind of been active and been on a journey in healing. So that's kind of I feel like my expertise is healing, and because I've been on my own journey. So I think that's me. I think they'll probably get to know me more, talking, and so.
Yeah. Okay. So as you've gotten into the art and healing of spoken word and poetry, what did you find to be your initial experience with poetry that really just like, you know what, this is me. This is what I'm gonna do. This is how I'm gonna speak.
I guess when the crowd welcomed me, when the people welcomed me and was like, I hope you're going to continue to do poetry. You got a lot to say. We like you. Like, that was nice. And I was like, oh, well, maybe my words do matter, So I kept showing up, I kept, even me being nervous, me being scared, I listened to the feedback of my peers and realizing that regardless to the fact of me critiquing myself, like they thought that it was important what I had to say. So I embraced it from that aspect, if that makes sense.
Okay. And what about writing? What led you into the experience of writing?
So I've been writing a really long time, right? But I did it more as like journaling and just trying to express myself because verbally I wasn't very expressive and didn't communicate. And so going through like a lot of different pain and trauma, I would write. And funny thing is that my mom and my sisters now would find my writing and I guess secretly knew that like I could write, and I never like looked at myself as a writer or a poet. I just seen myself writing, you know, just kind of trying to express myself through the pen and the pad. And so I just continued it because I realized that when I wrote, I felt better. And so it just kind of began to be a thing that stuck with me. And when I was younger, I would read the dictionary, right? So I would like use the words that I would learn, and so it helped me a lot too. So it was just kind of like a thing that took out a lot of my depression and my stress coming up.
So it's been therapeutic for you.
It has been very much so.
And you said something very interesting. You said words do matter, right?
Yes.
And a lot of people at times, you know, look at that phrase, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Like, what have you found to be the impact and the importance of just words themselves and how they're used and how your voice matters, in fact, you know, and just your growth and evolution in that particular revelation?
Well, you know, going back to the word, it says that life and death lies in the power of the tongue. And so, you know, what we speak, our words have vibration. And so when we speak, we're either speaking life or we're speaking death. But because of those little corny, you know, things that we used to say, we don't think nothing of it because we more focused on the sticks and stones versus the word. So and you look at it like even back then in the day, like they spoke curses and abracadabra, abracadoo, you know. So they moved things with words. And so realizing that, and that was kind of like the journey that actually started KUAW, because words of expression heal. So to start speaking life, you know, into things, because again, it has power. And so when we look at things that we might have said to individuals in an argument or just, you know, making a statement, we spoke something into it. And so it caused some type of reaction, right? Like you say something ugly to somebody and it creates some type of mood. So something vibrates in it, right? And so, did I answer your question?
No, it does. No doubt. No doubt. I mean, that's, yeah.
So, yeah, we got to look at that, you know, there's life in what we speak, and we have to be more conscious of what we're speaking.
Right.
Definitely.
Right.
Because I look back at when I was younger, and my family would be like, Tisha's badass, you know, this, and I wasn't bad, you know, I was like energetic, but they didn't realize that they were declining my energy by speaking those things into me, you know. And so then coming up in my head, I thought I was bad. So what happens, I began to create those types of bad, you know, behaviors, you know, because in my head I'm hearing my auntie, my mom, them speak, you know, her badass, and it wouldn't even be that I was doing anything bad. It was just normal, you know, regular child stuff, you know. And so even to that aspect, we have to be careful, you know, as to what we're saying, because I mean, our words is damaging for real.
Undeniably. And I can certainly relate to that, and how writing has been therapeutic for me on my journey. You know, when I first started writing, I was actually, you know, out of order, you know, and so trying to get in order, I found poetry as a outlet to really make sense of the stuff that I was going through, because it was like, what am I doing? Like, who am I? And I didn't really have an idea, and so it was just a journey through writing that allowed for that to happen. So has writing for you pretty much captured, and not only captured, but inspired you in your journey in terms of even your poetry, how you've used it, how you've, as therapy, have you seen it as a transformative agent and catalyst in your life? And if so, how?
I have. I was doing my second book, right? And it's Memoirs of Rapid Reflections. And in this book, as I was like going through old pieces that I wrote, I was seeing how I transformed. And not only that, how like I was speaking things then to where I'm at now, and I didn't realize. So I'm reading it and I have it dated, and I'm like, wow, I was manifesting and didn't know, but in my pain, I was manifesting. I was merging myself into this palace, into this place, of, I guess I would say, like, excellence, catapulting myself forward. And so I was just in awe as I was going back on some of the work, because I was like, I wrote this. Like, I knew that I was in this place, but I knew what place I wanted to be at. And my writing helped me transform into that place. So it's amazing to go back, 15, 20 years and see my pieces. And it's like, I'm here. I made it. Like, and that's so therapeutic, because if I wasn't writing, and I thankfully I was able to keep up with a lot of those writings, but like, where would I be? Right. Like, what would have taken place if I had not put my pain into my writing? Wow. And so it's really shocking to me. It's kind of like magic. Like, I kind of feel like writing is like magic. Like, you, especially when you see it happen before your eyes, things that you wrote, years, and you're in a place where you don't even know what you write. You just writing it, your emotions, and you just, yes. And it's like, wow, like, okay. Makes me want to go right now. Like, what else I need to be writing and speaking into existence? But yes, powerful.
And it's so deep you say that. And you even said the word, you said abracadabra earlier. And a lot of people may not know. It's a Hebrew word. It actually is a word that means I create as I speak. Abra, from the word bara. I create, and then Dabra from the word Davar. That's my stage name, by the way. But, but from the word to speak. So I create as I speak. So words do have that power to do that. Yes. It's so interesting, though. You said pain, and how has pain inspired you? Because that's a profound concept. Like, pain as a motivation to write. Is something that a lot of people may not even look at. They'll use other outlets that are less therapeutic to deal with their pain, be it drugs, be it, whatever have you that they find to escape from their pain, as opposed to encounter it and embrace it. And so to use pain as a motive for your words, that's very revolutionary. So how has that impacted? Like, how have you converted that from pain to poetry? Like, that's deep.
I look at it like it's pleasure on the other side of that, on the other side of that pain, on the other side of that mountain of pain, right? And so I think a lot of times people don't see it like that. But I think one of the major things for me was like pushing. Like, I remember like being and all, just going through a lot of different things in life. And it was just something in it that made me push, because somewhere I knew that I was going to overcome, right? Like, I knew that if I stayed focused perhaps on my writing, that it would put me in that place that I'm seeking to get through my writing, right? So pain, I got to stay loud for a moment on that, because when I look at it, a lot of people don't make it through their pain. They get so buried under it instead of looking to see what's on the other side of it. What am I going through this for? And some things, even for myself, was self-inflicted. And some things, I had other outlets, for my pain. But writing was the thing that took precedent over everything. So even in my drinking and my smoking, I still wrote about it. And so when I go back and I reflect on those writings, I see, and I'm just like, man, I can see a deliverance. I can see redemption now. And I also seen where I was crying out. So I think that was like one of the major things, that in my pain, I didn't get bitter. I kept on crying out because I wanted to be liberated from it. I wanted to come out of it. And so through that, in my writing, I would put that in there. Even in my writing while I was going through pain, I would put what I was going through, but I also put what I wanted to see. Right. And so just kind of reflecting on that, I just think that perseverance is a major thing in pain, because in that moment in your pain, you have the choice to stop or you have the choice to keep on going. Like, at that, it's a choice. And so a lot of people just choose to just stop in the pain because they don't want to endure it. And so my thing was enduring it because I always had a vision. I always knew that, there was this particular life that I wanted. There was this particular thing that I wanted in life. And so my thing was to push to it. Don't give up. Don't stop, no matter what it looked like. And so
Yeah, that's powerful. So, in addition to your creations in art, there's some other things that you've also created.
yes.
Organizations, correct?
Yes.
So, let's go back to the inception of your first. Like, what was your first organization that you gave birth to, and what brought that forth? And we'll get to the present as well. But
Okay.
let's start with the first one, and what that was about, and how that concept came forth.
So my first one, it's always I've been about women. So my first one was called actually Wives, and it was women implementing values to encourage sisterhood. So I'm really big about sisterhood, and I guess being that I had all sisters and all female cousins growing up, so that was a nonprofit for me to encourage women, not only from a sister aspect, but also giving back to the community. So we would do food drives, clothes drives, feed the homeless drives, and we would also gather. And one of the things was equipping women to not only be sisters, but showing them how to be wives. Because if you can be a sister, then you're setting yourself up to be a good wife. And I think that was something that women really wanted to be, but we didn't know how to be. And so that was my first vision that got me going into the other things. And so when I seen the success of that, and I seen how many people gravitated towards it, how many people we helped, and it was just building a community. And then our prayer circle grew, and it was just really inspiring. So that was my first journey that pushed me forward.
So it was a sisterhood desire to just like empower the women.
Yeah,
to embrace that,
to empower women, and also to break the cycles of women, and for us to heal. Because I think a lot of times that women are in denial about the healing that has to take place with us as a collective, right? And we can do a lot of blaming all day long, man, woman, man. But until we face our own, junk, the healing doesn't start. It doesn't begin. And so that was like one of my things, was to embrace my sister so we could heal and empower each other together. And so also watching my mom as a single mom, watching her journey alone on her own, not having anybody. So that was also inspiring, because I seen a lot of single parenting women. And when I became one, that also was like, okay, like this is serious. It's just not the women I'm seeing now. This is me.
Right.
Like, what am I gonna do to be able to empower and change? Like this is uncomfortable. So when you don't like something, what do?
Right.
It could change. So
Stay alive. So you mentioned Wives had like a prayer circle. So assuming this had a faith base behind it as well. Let's kind of digress though and talk about your journey of faith.
Okay.
I think that's important. Faith for some may have kind of a placebo effect as well. It may have even some superficialities. A lot of times faith is mischaracterized in ways, but to see it actually go through a process of transformation as a vehicle for transformation, how has faith served you in your life, in your transformation process?
Say without faith, I would be dead. It was something that I always had to have, because if I didn't have it, I wouldn't be here right now. I recall a lot of situations where faith was all I had. And I've always seen like my faith show up for me, and even when I was younger, I wasn't raised in church. I wasn't raised believing in God or any of that, so I didn't have a relationship. But I always had the word with me, which was so interesting. And so I remember I got to a point where I stayed in trouble. It was something I always was doing something. But I would always have this Bible. And I would go and I would try to read, but I didn't understand it. And I didn't have anybody to teach me how to understand the word. And so I would even get frustrated at y'all because I'm like, I don't get who you are. But there was this faith of this mustard seed, right? This mustard seed of faith that I had to continue on to learn, because I knew that with the spirit that I heard that would visit me, I knew it was real, right? But I didn't know how to process my faith in the word. So I began to process it, I think, by just like moving forward, by having a spirit of expectancy that my father would show up for me. That whatever the situation that I was in, I have faith that it would change. And so with that faith, it just kept growing and growing. And as I got into situations, whether it was with law enforcement, whether it was in relationships that I wasn't supposed to be in and found myself in trouble, like my faith, like me having this undeniable faith got me out of it. And it was funny because I think it also gravitated a lot of people towards me, because they would see me like, how did you? And I'd be like, I don't know, even now. People like, how did this? I don't know. Like, I just know that I have faith and I believe in my Heavenly Father, and it just happens for me. So, and people do look at it from a superficial level. I can only speak for myself, what I've seen, what I've been delivered from. And, you know, I've come from some things. So I like to come from what I come from. It wasn't nothing but by faith, you know, and hope. And so I think what happens is people just see faith, but they also have to see commitment, and they also have to see hope, you know, because it does say faith without work is dead. So people think, I'm going to just sit here and say that I believe and I don't have to do anything. But that's not how I operated in my faith. Right. What I had faith in, I believed, and I worked towards it. Like, I believed that my faith was going to carry me from point A to B and C, and it has. Never let me down. Never has.
Wow.
You know, and even in the place of darkness, like having that faith, like it's the saying that when you get to the end of the rope, you tie a knot. And so that's kind of like faith. Like, you hanging at that rope, tie a knot, and you just hold on. Like, it's coming. Wow. It's coming. And so that was my thing. I had a whole lot of knots that I had to hang on to. But, I mean, I'm glad, because at the end of it, I was on top of the cliff and not the cliff, not me hanging from it, you know?
Yeah. That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful. So you've taken your lessons, you've taken your experiences, you've learned how to walk in and with faith. And wives comes forth as a result of what your experience and what your vision is, because you mentioned the word vision. That's a very important word. Was there anything that came after wives that led up to where you presently are, or is this the pretty much first step?
Say no. And then we got KUAW. So KUAW is my baby here that has been years in coming. And it's been baby step by baby step. And it came to me in the process of Wives, like while we were doing Wives, while I was rolling out, but wanted to narrow it down. And so it started through, and it's still like Words of Expression Heal, because we speak life. And then it went, and it still is, you know, Women of Earth Heal. And women offering endless hope. So the gist of it was like, whoa, you know, you hear people say whoa all the time, but the thing was to really create whoa, like, and to speak it and to be it. And so that acronym with Women of Earth Heal, like, when I came into this like whole holistic journey, I realized that women are healers, right? Like, we are natural born healers. And from our womb, even when we have a child, childbirth, how our womb heal. Like we heal our children when they fall. We heal our mates when they going through. We heal our sisters. We heal even our parents. So we have this special ability to heal. But I noticed that so many women have gotten away from it, and even myself at one point. And so on my journey, I realized how I had the gift of healing, and not only myself but women period, but we're so far away from it. And when I began to see what has broken us down from being away from our healing, and while a lot of us are not healing, I was like, whoa. And that was it, right?
Wow.
Whoa. I was like, oh my God.
Right.
Whoa. Okay. So not only words of expression heal, but women of this earth heal. And women, we need to offer endless hope. So then the faith in it just started increasing. And so I've literally had women come to me and give me testimonies about how I saved them through prayer, through reaching out to them, through talking and all this. And I was just like, wow. So even healing myself, like when I went on the journey to mend all the brokenness in my past, like that was a journey that me and the Father was on. And so I really had to learn how to heal myself. And once I went through that healing, now I've been gifted with the gift, with the prana, with the Holy Spirit, with the chi, or whatever they want to call it,
Do the knowledge.
So exactly, to heal. And so I'm like, wow, not only is it accessible to me, but it's accessible to other women. And so many women go through their life broken, not healing. And then they passing it on to their children. They're passing it on to their mates. It's just all this toxicity that's spewing out. And I'm like, man, and everybody is in this like state of consciousness. And it's like, but nobody wants to talk about healing. We can't just go from a state to a state, a conscious state from a broken state. It doesn't work like that. We had to take the time to heal.
Step by step.
And it's like, so that was something that pushed me. So I was like, all right, I got to start speaking life, not only to myself, but to my sisters. And we got to learn how to build.
Right.
And so.
Shift the paradigm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's where we at. That's where woe is.
It's so interesting you saying that. And I can relate to that. Pretty much up to 2017, I did not acknowledge the brokenness that I was existing in. It was like if you're a fish in water, you don't really know your surroundings. And so the toxicity, the brokenness, I didn't really acknowledge it in my life. So there was nothing I could heal. And that's what I found, is that if you don't acknowledge what you're suffering from and you don't see the patterns that you're just carrying out and repeating over and over and over, there's no way that you can ever heal from that.
Yes.
And that's something that it just came through pain, and I had to break down literally, to experience what I needed to do, because it was like, if I didn't see myself broken. I'm cool, I can just bounce back. My bounce back game strong. No, it wasn't.
Right.
It was horrible, know. So it's like, wow. So that's huge. And then to provide a platform for others to heal, and it's so deep, because I believe it was I know Malcolm said it and a few others said it. If you want to see how high a nation can rise, look at the state of its women.
So true.
Right? Because the women are that essential to that particular society, as relates to, dealing with the children, the first instructors and educators of the children, the healers of the community, and how women are esteemed. And when we look at our society today and how women are even projecting themselves, and how men, shall I say males more so, are engaging women. What is your take on that, and what can we do? Well, I'll just ask you that first. What is your take on that? Where are women upheld, both with themselves and with men, in society today?
Really quick, you said something about broken, right? And a lot of people are in denial about them being broken. I ain't, because they think the behavior is right? So you have everybody that's just righteous, right? And everything, because this is what society is saying. So to answer your question, what I think about, like, women, where we're at, we are definitely out of our realm. We are definitely not in our fathers, but in the earthly master's realm, right? We have been. I see so many women that are puppets that are away from themselves. I'm trying to get the words to say it without being offensive, because it's so sad, It's a lot of reconciliation that needs to be done with the woman, with women. And it's troubling because, like, even with KUAW, it's like, where to start. So I'm just kind of, grabbing and seeking support in whoever. We gone. We so far gone. It's so sad. It's like we feel like our bodies is everything. Granted, I like to stay in shape, but I don't feel like my body is like going to get me everything. We use our bodies as a Cash App, a PayPal, a Venmo, a bank account, and that right there alone is bad. We don't face ourselves in the mirror to see our natural selves, our natural beauty. We don't even take the time with our children. We just pop them out. I see so many women that are popping them out, don't even want them. I think the motherhood of the woman has been broken. It's bad. I mean, I don't even know what to say except that it's bad. And then you have this divisiveness and jealousy amongst women, and you're trying to repair them. And then it's kind of like that saying, you got too many chiefs, not enough Indians. For me, I would love to stay an Indian. I still see myself as an Indian because I'm a learner, I don't ever see myself above. But you see women who are constantly at each other like
Competing.
this. Yes. And so with that mindset alone, it's hard to even get down to the nitty gritty of the healing of the woman. So yeah, we're in bad shape. Society is in bad shape, but us women alone, especially African American women, because our heritage, our culture has been stripped and lost. So we don't know. We're constantly in this state of repair, and we're not even taking the time. We're not taking the time. So
Indeed. We do have a couple comments in our feed. We're gonna get back to some things though. But Lynette Smith, shout out to the Lynette Gray Show. I said Lynette. Lynette Smith, powerful, push through it, don't give up. Also a beautiful testimony.
Thank you.
Baba G lets people know the chat line is open, and Mama Walker says that she's watching the show. So shout out to all the listeners. Thank you all for tuning in.
Yes.
We're here with She Royale. We're talking about soul journeying paradigmatics and just, this journey of life and how it's so important to capture it and journal and to write and to, give birth to this reality that we're wanting to see. And she is the founder and the CEO of KUAW, which has 3 different meanings, come to find out, right?
Yeah.
Women of Earth heal, words of expression heal. And I forgot the last one. What was the last one again?
Women offering endless hope.
Women offering endless hope. Powerful, powerful. So you do have something coming up with KUAW too, don't you, if I'm not mistaken?
I do. So before COVID, I was doing group therapies, women group therapies. And so it was in person. And so everybody been asking, like, shit, when you going to bring it back? When you going to bring it back? So we're having our,
I said in that voice.
Right. And so this Thursday, doing a Zoom symposium, a KUAW group therapy. Yeah, on a Zoom.
Okay,
Yeah, on the Zoom symposium. So I'm looking forward to it, to get back into it. And so in that event, basically sharing with women like how to heal, it's interactive, so we're giving our testimonies. We're talking about our traumas, things that's been on us for a long time that we've been trying to heal. We talk about our centers, our chakras. We're, going through on that. And it's a series, of course. And so just getting back to it and putting it out there and gathering the tribe, the ladies who do want to, walk in collectivity and that.
So how can people find out about it? They can contact you, for that particular symposium.
Yes.
Through
Facebook.
Okay.
Instagram. And I got to get better, y'all, on my social media presence. Forgive me. Website is KUAW.org. The email information and stuff is on there as well. So,
okay.
Yeah. Okay,
so definitely get to check that out, sisters. Spread the word, share it, and we can get our sisters whole. Yes. So energy. You've talked about energy a couple of times. What introduced you to energy work, and then where are you presently with energy work? What are you doing with energy on your soul journey?
So, what led me to energy? Actually, you would be amazed. My son actually led me to energy. And from there, and it was stones, right?
Okay.
And this whole thing, and he was like 4 or 5, and he would even go outside and he would dig and he would go find like crystals and stuff, and I'm like, wow. And so I remember I was at work, and this lady, Mother Esther, who ended up becoming my spiritual mother, her and I, we connected, and so it was an opportune time. She started introducing me to energy, and I'm like, well, I had already been dealing with it, but I was kind of still coming out the church, right?
Okay.
And so they don't teach you about energy in church, which Holy Spirit is energy, but we won't go into that, right?
Now.
Right. So I started learning about it, right? Okay. And so bit by bit, and I started just seeing myself incline. Things just started opening up way more. I became way sensitive. And so I'm like, this is energy, and I started learning about vibrations, and I started realizing that I was increasing in my vibrations, and things that were, low, I was no longer. So I would feel it. Like I was even feeling it, not just spiritually, but physically as well. And so, I was dealing with some issues with my tummy, and one day I was just like kind of reading my body, not even realizing that I was doing Reiki, which is energy healing, right? And so this book actually like opened up. I had this book for forever long, but I didn't know what it was. Open it up, and Holy Spirit was like, read it, and it was talking about energy healing, and I'm like, I had found a blockage in my stomach. And I thought my hand was moving, but it was right here. I was like, oh my gosh, this is... So I'm very unconscious about what I was doing. So as I began to study more, I started finding out about Reiki. And I'm like, oh, I was doing this way prior, Right. And so now I'm getting more in tune with the chakras and how they operate, and even being able to refer it to the word, right?
Okay.
And so I'm like, whoa, like this is interesting.
Right.
And so once I started doing it on myself and would notice like anytime anything would be off in my body, I could catch it because my energy was, and my hands was drawn to it. So started studying Reiki, and then I found the Reiki practitioners. Excuse me. And so that's kind of like how my journey started. So I was just like, wow, but I was already walking in it. Like even with women, and everybody like hugging, that's healing. That's energy, but your spirit, your intentions have to be in the right place.
Right.
So that was
deep.
Another thing.
That's deep.
Energy start with intentions, because a lot of people intentions are not good.
Wow.
So whatever you're putting out, you're gonna, get back in. And so that was a thing. And so from there, I got really into Reiki, and so I do Reiki as well, feeling the energy. And it's interesting because when I moved here, I remember Spirit was like, no longer like Patricia, all of that no. It's like, whoa, it's like, what is it? I was like on this journey where I didn't even know my name for a while.
Wow.
And I kept hearing people say she. And I was like, and I heard seriously, that's it. And I was like, wow, so that's how she actually came about. And mind you, my last name is Royal. It was like, she Royal, and people would say it. And I was like, that's it.
Wow.
And so all the time, you know, she, like chi, too, is like energy. And so going on down, it manifested to me that that's what it means, woman of divine energy. And so I'm like, oh, once I was able to master it and become and get it down, that's when it, you know, became
Right.
revealed to me. And so I'm like, oh, I do have this, like, you know, gift of healing. And so in that, I had to learn about energy and what it was, because they don't tell us that.
Indeed, and you've referred to the church, and you know, the concept of chakras, Reiki, and stuff like that is almost taboo. Now, I won't even say almost. How have you engaged individuals, you know, in that circle with faith, using a biblical foundation to let them know that this is something that is viable, and it's even scriptural? Like, what challenge have you faced challenges with that, and if so, how have you overcome those? What have you done to address that matter?
I have, and I take them to the word, and you know, speaking about the salvation, you know, the body of salvation, putting on the armor of salvation, like those things align with the chakras. You know, when we talk about in Proverbs, sitting and meditating and writing it on the tablets of your heart. And, you know, we talk about the mind, like that's where the crown and the brow is, you know, above that is the soul, you know. So just kind of aligning it and trying to meet people where they are and giving them, I don't want to say a layman, but a kind of clear and trying to relate it to whatever their belief is. And so that's kind of how I've done it, and take them to even the word in like Reiki, because when you look at where you read and study Reiki, it even talks about, you know, these different sectors or religious sectors, and, you know, and how theirs is not called energy, it's called Holy Spirit, or some call it Kundalini or whatever. It all lines up, and it's just kind of go back to that thing where, you know, you have all these gods, but there's one. You know, it's all one, and you don't have to call it what I call it, but it is what it is. It's the same thing. It's the same channel. And so doing that, and also studying. So if women come to the KUAW group therapies, it's a lot of that implemented in there, and they get their own aha moments when they're talking and working through it themselves. You don't even have to try to convince anybody, because it end up making sense once you start doing the studying. That's the problem. People don't want to learn. People don't want to study. They're stuck in this way of thought, and nothing else matters. And for me, I've never been stuck in a way of thought. Like, everything all ties into one for me. And so,
most definitely, it's powerful. That's powerful. And I know the sentiment, you know, using those practices is considered, you know, new age or pagan or, you know, things of that nature, when in fact laying on of hands is what Reiki is, and that's all throughout scripture, you know, transferring energy from the goats and the bulls that they would lay hands on. That's just a transfer of energy.
The pigs running into the water.
Wow. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's powerful. It's powerful. So what kind of things do you have coming up besides the symposium that you have on the 7th? It's on the 7th?
Yes, it's on the 7th.
What time is that too, so our listeners can
it's
know what to
at
expect?
6.
There. Okay.
6. And so, yeah. And about that really quick, so every 2 weeks, I'm going to do it bi-weekly, but the second week, like, we'll just do an hour follow-up, right? So we're going to do, like, check-in sessions to see how's it going since the last meeting. But it won't be 2 hours, so we'll do a 2-hour 1 week, and then the second week we'll do a follow-up. And so it's just really getting women in the groove and just, like, comfortable and with themselves and other women.
Right.
Because we can't just immerse ourselves. Women on whatever reason, we just like, I gotta just see how it is. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be an experience. So just kind of breaking the waters on that. So
right. And you did say there's some confidentiality that's also associated
absolutely,
with that.
absolutely. And so there is some forms. And so again, you can contact me to do the form because you will not be let into the Zoom without filling out that form, because the thing is to protect women. We need to be protected, and we also have to know, that you're not coming in with any malintent, to harm anybody.
Right.
And so just want to make sure that that covering is there. And so definitely.
Powerful.
And two, it's also information on what to do when you're not in group, things that you can do, because we not going to be available all the time. So when you're going through a crisis, here's something for you to do, sis. Here's, how to do this. And it also talks about, accountability, integrity. And two, what's required of you for it to even work. You have to be willing. That's the thing about healing, too. A lot of people are not willing. We'll cry, and don't want to be healed. It's like, it's right here.
Right.
But if you don't want to take the first step in accepting it, then...
Right.
Can't help you.
My goodness.
So, yeah.
It's like people say, if you want to get healed, are you willing to give up what made you sick? Like, woo. And sometimes we don't. I just take my meds and I'll be good. No, you won't. You got to make them changes.
Exactly.
Goodness
For
gracious.
real.
That's challenging. And to have that testimony and to see examples of individuals who've gone through that transformation is huge.
Yes.
Those are the witnesses that we need to see, and the stories we need to hear, and that transparency. And that's where I believe we gain more confidence and more affinity with one another, is that we can relate to people, because those stories of overcoming are so important.
Yes.
So important. Are there any other events that you have that you may want to put on the little radar for individuals of what you got going on?
Fitness camp. So, okay. Got this thing going on. And I feel like I'm never in shape enough, right? But I did recently get my personal training certification.
Big up.
Yeah, thanks. So the thing is helping women stay fit, because along with healing, there's some fitness that comes along with that. There's some diet that comes along with that. There's a whole lot of stuff, and people be looking at me like, oh, you just a small girl, and no, it just don't work like that. And so that's the thing, helping women excuse me, I'm getting over a cold, but helping women get fit. And so, and in that, building relationships. Everything is about building relationships. And we use cis. It's so overrated, right? So my thing is like, what does that mean? And bringing that out. And so hopefully that'll come in fitness. So doing fitness boot camps again, and just showing women how to diet and introducing them to teas, because I have teas too.
Okay.
So introducing them to the herb life, because
huge.
Very huge.
Yeah.
Very huge.
Yeah.
And so that's that. And I do all kind of stuff really. KUAW has gear, getting back into making bracelets. Have some of them are crystal healing bracelets, and some just are fashionable beaded bracelets. But the idea and the gist of it is linking. We're cupped together, so building this remnant of women, to help build the kingdom, to help build the kingdom on earth. We've gotten off that focus as well.
Right.
And so building that up. And so that's kind of that's all that's on the radar. I'm always doing something. This is my peak season to come back out of hibernation.
No doubt. I get it wholeheartedly. That's awesome. Well, let's see. What else can we talk about? You recently had your book dedicated too. Well, let's go back to the books first of all. You talked about you have some books that you've written.
Yes, I should have brought some in here.
I was gonna have you read some poetry too.
You
dodged that one. You can do it still. Could you do it?
I might do a little something.
A little something. So yeah, She Royale. She is also a spoken word artist. She has been featured with the Music and More Foundation. You've gone to some of the other sets around the city.
Yes.
What are some of the topics that you write about? Like what types of things have you addressed?
Man.
Or what is some of the favorite? What are some of your favorite topics to address?
Some of my favorite topics, probably healing. You know, again, just a lot of and overcoming. Because most of my life has been pain.
Wow.
You know, so.
And looking at you, no, it wouldn't be assumed.
I get that a lot too. And break down my story and people be ready to run. Be like, no, really? But yeah. So yeah, really. And my thing is being transparent in that healing because you'd be amazed at some of the stuff people go through and don't talk about. And you know, one of the biggest things too that I really want to shed awareness on is molestation. That is so huge. So many people deal with that spirit. So many people are going through it, have been through it, and have not healed from it. And it's just not enough light shed on it, you know, and there's movements or, you know, people talking about it or trying to even make pedophiles a thing. That's not making it a thing. It's about getting help, getting healed, about confronting it, you know, whether you're the pedophile or you're the victim, you know, that it really needs to be addressed because it's opening up so many, up on our children, you know, and so that happened very early on. So again, like I can't stress it enough, and I think about how many adult people deal with that from childhood and have not ever talked about it. Sometimes, even our parents. And you know, it's killing us because we're harboring that. It becomes a stone. We are so hardened by those things, you know. So that abuse, I just kind of talk about the things that I've, you know, went through and seen. And so, but I have a lot of new things. So again, it's a memoirs. So a lot of it has been like journeying through this life of you know, what that looks like. And
now, what's the titles of your book again?
The first one is Memoirs of a Broken-Hearted Little Girl. Okay. And then the second one is Memoirs of Rampant Reflections. Okay. So you have this series of this little girl, right? All the pain, the molestation, the drugs, the abuse, all this. And so now you see me kind of in this caterpillar stage, you know, and now you'll see me in the next book where I'm like set free, where I'm, you know, on to the next.
Right. You've bloomed, right?
Yeah. And that's the motto for KUAW. Like when you blossom, I bloom. Like it's not I, you know, we. Right. So it's a collective thing. So
powerful.
Yes.
Very powerful. So did you have anything you wanted to share with our listeners before we transition in this hour?
Let me see. I gotta get it pulled up. I didn't set my phone down.
But this is again Shifting Paradigms. I'm your host B. Michael. We're here on KUAW Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom Radio. We're dealing with soul journeying paradigmatics with She Royale. She is the founder of KUAW. She is also a spoken word artist, a local spoken word artist, and she has some books that you all can check out that she's written. Again, the Memoirs of a Broken-Hearted Little Girl, Memoirs of Rampant Reflections. She has a symposium that is coming up on April 7th, starting at 6 p.m., and you can email her. And what's the email for KUAW that they can contact?
KUAW@admin.org.
Okay, KUAW@admin.org. You can check her out on Facebook. You can go to the page, as a matter of fact, the KUAW page. Her Her Facebook page is She Royale. It says CHII
Yeah.
Royale. You can check it out there. And I believe she has a piece now.
Yeah, I do. It's called Whoa Woman. Woman, you are whoa. You are wildly welcome, witty, clever, whimsical. You can create tornadoes and rain. Your womb bears seeds and take pain. You create seeds of weather. Your wisdom has deceived and defeated the devil. Miraculous how you perform with treasure. Your water sweet elixir, intoxicating like aged liquor. Whoa, woman, you are a weapon. Wonderful, worthy, world-class, and wealthy. Wanted because you are wired with winsome ability, so protect your womb. Whoa, woman, you are omnipresent. Your occupants are formed from your omni-essence. No one has been able to duplicate you because you are omnificent. Your arms have been recited, replayed, and even obscured, yet they have given you obscene and obnoxious, even obese as the words to curb your godly objective. Yet in the ocular of men they are obsessive, trying to make you obey their lies like you are not the oneness of Yah. Whoa, woman, you are original, outstanding and official, overflowing with angelic offerings, optimistic because how powerful your mind is. Stay open-hearted because you are not an option. Whoa, woman, you are energy, extraordinary, effective with your empathy, extended beyond reach of infinity, beyond the ions. You are mother of earth, enormous, extended to the ends of the earth, easygoing and effective, but people still don't know your worth. Estimated under, so sometimes you don't feel equal, yet somehow you still find yourself to encourage your people. Empowered by excellence, essential to the media, but still misrepresented in entertainment. Eloquent, your celestial perfume covers the giant elephants in the room. Whoa, woman, heavenly jewel, Hebrew mother, your happiness they have tried to smother, yet your heavenly horizon is like no other. From out the ring of fire, you are hot. House of Zion, even Kingdom Hall knows your plot. Whoa, woman, your wisdom restores hope. Black gold never tarnished, though your history has been sold. You are Henrietta Lackeys, though your hella cells has been stole. You are the original hue. Society treats you harshly, yet you are the helping hand to solve the Morse code. You are a healer. You are the halo that glow. You are heaven. Woman, you are whoa.
Whoa. Say word. That's that fire right there. Big up, big up, big up.
Thank you.
Huge. I want to thank you for coming on the show. And I did notice something on your finger there. That's pretty nice there. What you got over there?
So yeah, you gonna put me on blast like that?
Baby. I did. Congratulations.
Thank you. I
That's
appreciate
awesome.
it.
That's huge.
You ringed it. Yep.
Woo. No doubt.
Yep.
That's a beautiful thing.
It's
a beautiful thing. But wow, you have definitely made an impression. So I want to thank you for your words, for your mind, for your experience, your journey. Your transparency.
Thank you.
And it's truly inspiring, and definitely appreciate you having the time to come on the show and share yourself with our listeners here on Shifting Paradigms. And this does bring an end to our hour. I hope our listeners have been indelibly impressed with Miss She Royale and the WOW experience. So check her out again April 7th. Our sisters do tune in definitely and get the experience for healing purposes and move forward with that. So we'll be back in a couple weeks. We'll have another show here coming up, but do support KUAW, the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, and we will keep it moving. So keep on listening, and we'll be with you in the future. So peace and power, peace and blessings to our listeners. Thank you for tuning in with She Royale and Soul Journey Paradigmatics. No doubt. Blessings to everybody.